Hey beautiful people, what is up? God, I'm such a weirdo. Hey beautiful people, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, on this, the Lord's blessed day, we're going to be doing a first impressions video on the brand new Fuji 5 Lakes palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I don't know why I'm always so unprepared with the names of these palettes when I come in. Like, I was ready and then it was gone. Anyways, if this is your first time watching me, welcome back to the if this is not your first time, welcome back to the channel. I know y'all, it's been a slow season, but it is what it is. So just for context, for my first impressions videos, what I like to do is I like to give you guys a little bit of product details, then dive into some swatches so that you can see what it looks like on my complexion. For context, I am a medium deep complexion with a yellow golden undertone. I swatch everything on the sort of inside part of my arm, which is a little bit lighter than the outside part of my arm. And then I take videos on my iPhone 13 Pro Max outside. So I literally just go onto my little balcony and then I like to take it in natural sunlight using my phone. I will also take one inside most of the time with the flash on so you can see what it looks like when light hits it so that it sparkles. After I'm done giving you guys all of the swatches and the product details, then I'm going to dive into 3 looks for you guys because I had some time to play with this palette and I really enjoyed it, so I kept making looks. And then I'll come back at the end to give you guys my first impressions thoughts. In case you were curious, this is not one of the looks. I wasn't feeling well when I did the last look, so I didn't have time to film the sort of end or the intro to it. How I like to do my videos is that I will typically film all of the looks and then come back and do the intro and the outro on the last look. But I wasn't feeling good, so this is a whole different look, which I am loving, by the way. But that's not what y'all are here for. So I'm so sorry about the chaos of this video because I realize I'm rambling and we are 2.3940 minutes in, okay? That didn't even make sense. Woo! Oh, Lord Jesus, Father. Okay, so let's dive in. Like I said, we're here to do a first impressions on the Nomad Cosmetics Fuji 5 Lakes palette. This is the newest release from the brand. As you can see, the box is the exact sort of copy of the actual palette, but I do want to show you guys the details. So obviously, plain cardboard box. There are product details on the back, including the shades, so you can see everything, and a little bit about the palette. But on the palette itself, guys, this is like canvas. Like, I want you to be able to see the texture of this palette. It's like paint on a canvas, and I fell in love with this. This might be my favorite artwork that the brand has done before. And they've done other palettes where there's like a fuzzy covering, or like, what's that called? It's not felt. It's like suede, not suede, but where you can feel the palette and it very much mirrors the theme. And I've said this before, but no one does packaging and like a theme like Nomad Cosmetics, and it still stands true till today. One thing I will flag is that while the back of the box does have all of the product details, the back of the palette, you don't get that level of detail, but you do get some things. So for example, it says that this is made in China, has a 12-month shelf life, and it's cruelty-free and vegan. The important thing to note on the back of the box is that this is called an intense color palette. So what I assume that means is that this does include some pressed pigments, and as you guys already know, in the US, pressed pigments are technically not safe for the eyes. So just something to be mindful of if you have any sensitivities to that. Okay, so now I'm going to go through some of the descriptive pieces that they have so that you understand the destination and how it relates to the theme, while I pop up the swatches so that you guys can see what the palette and the swatches look like. So the destination is Fuji in the fall. Autumn in Japan is a colorful and captivating season. As foliage hues move across the country, the favorite pastime, momiji gari, or red leaf hunting, begins. Probably pronouncing that wrong. And no other place is more beautiful and more awe-inspiring to see the brilliant fall hues than the Fuji 5 Lakes region. The iconic snow-capped Mount Fuji is mirrored in calm lake waters by the warm-hued autumn leaves create the perfect frame to capture this region's spectacular beauty. The palette is a canvas of warm and cool. Outside, work of art with Mount Fuji and Lake Kawaguchi framed by textured leaves. Inside, the scene continues with fiery red maples, golden ginkgos, and other autumnal shades framing the cool mountain grays and lake blues with diamond Fuji at the pinnacle. 9 vivid mattes and 6 luminescent shimmers. We are proud to support More Trees Forest Conservation Organization, whose goal is a society where forests and people can coexist for generations to come. So the last thing that I want to flag is that this palette is going to launch Tuesday, August 20th at like midnight, and that's Eastern Standard Time. And it will retail for $44 USD. It is also not limited edition, so if you were worried that it was going to sell out, it will be there. And lastly, if you were interested in picking this up, I do have an affiliate code with the brand. It is Jamila. As all my affiliate codes are, I'll also pop it up here for you guys to see. That will save you 10%. Now, I want to mention that it is an affiliate code, so that means that when you guys purchase from it, I do make a small commission off of it. So if you want to support my channel, if you want to support the work that I continue to do, absolutely love it if you choose to do that. If you are not comfortable with that, there are a number of creators who do have codes that are not affiliated, so they don't make any money off of it. So you can also choose one of them. At the end of the day, just don't pay full price for makeup. That's, you know, that's the theme of this whole channel. We don't pay full price for makeup. So you don't have to use my code, but use somebody's code and save some coins, okay? All right, so those are all the product details. Let's go ahead and dive into the demos, and then I'll come back at the end and give you guys my final first impressions thoughts.
Can we just take control? We're overcomplicating how love flows. High low shouldn't be this stock broke, shouldn't be this hard to tell you I want more. I wanna see that you want me, snatch me up quick, let's see the ring. I wanna know, can we move forward, bust down that door, playing all my cards now, 'cause I've been waiting, but every time I think about you, baby, don't wanna take it slow. I've been waiting, but every time I think about you, baby, don't wanna take it slow. But I can't wait no more. Lately you've been trying to buy time for me, but your watch broke. Now your shot clock counting down. Headed to the middle, not your MO. Baby, push the tempo. Don't know how much longer till I hit the ground running. Are you stopping me? You gotta go like Monopoly. I'm tryna make you my property. Better yet, buy me some property. 'Cause we've been doing this forever. Guess it's never, never. 'Cause I've been waiting, but every time I think about you, baby, don't wanna take it slow. Don't wanna take it. I've been waiting, but every time I think about you, baby, don't wanna take it slow. But I can't wait no more.
Okay, so we're gonna get started on a very, very simple look today. We're gonna play in the warm shades because I need something neutral for today. So I'm actually gonna start by going into this shade up top. This is called Yellow Poplar. And I mean, you're gonna put that into the crease. I'm a little bit skeptical on how these are gonna show up on me. So let's just go for it. It's showing up though. It's not too dusty. Not mad at this. And the goal for this look is something that's a little bit like more ethereal, kind of light. Like you guys know, I typically will go in with something that is kind of deep in the corners. Okay, so it's a little light, but it's not like too light, if that makes sense. Honestly, y'all, I don't know what I'm going for today, and I also don't feel very well. So kind of working with Jesus on this one. I kind of want to go straight from this to this shade. But maybe I should build with this one. I feel like that might be too bright. You know what? Let's try. Let's try it. Taking a little bit of this. Oh, that's like canary yellow. And we're gonna put that underneath the first shade. It's called Koyo. At least I think that's how you say it, because there's a little dash over the top of it. I don't think it's called an accent, but you know, one of those things. So I'm going to assume that's what it is, but let me know. How do I pronounce it? Koyo? And you can probably tell I'm being very, very light-handed with my application, because I really do want something that's just kind of light, ethereal, not going in for like a dark O to V or anything, really. Then I'm going in with my number 1 Refa brush, taking the deepest yellow shade that's called Burnished Beach, yeah, and I'm just gonna put that all over the lid. Y'all are probably like, what is this look, child? What is you doing? Just go with me, because I don't know what I'm doing either. Cute all matte look, right? Not mad at that. I should have used a different primer for the lid though. My go-to is just concealer on the lids, but I should have gone in with like eyeshadow primer today and not concealer. It's okay. You live and you learn. Particularly with shades that are like this yellow. Concealer can really change the color of it, so a primer would make this pop just a little bit more, so it would have been a better choice for this. Part of me wants to just like have this be an all matte look, because this is cute. I like this, but it's a demo, so we gotta try some things. So I'm going in with the yellow shimmer. This is called Golden Ginkgo. And I just want to tap that all over the lid, really. All over that matte shade. Taking a brush, picking up a little bit of that, and just adding more, spreading it out. Okay, so you guys kind of see the vision. Like, this is pretty much what I wanted today. I wanted to try something that was a little bit different from my standard makeup formula, which you guys already know. And I wanted something that was warm and a little bit lighter, so no deep outer edges, none of that fun jazz. So I'm gonna go ahead, clean up the rest of my face, finish up my makeup, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look. Okay, just really quickly, I just want y'all to know, I mean, there's a little bit of remnants of like some shimmer, so ignore that. But look at this. No remnants. I went in with a brown eyeliner just because this is such a light look and there's not a lot of depth to it, that I didn't want black liner to be too much. It kind of still looks black in the camera, but I think that this is still a little bit less harsh than going in with a black liner. I've been using the Sephora, what's this called? Brush tip liquid liner. These are really nice. They don't last that long though, but they're cheap, so I have a couple of them. This is cute. Okay, all right, let's do one, maybe two more looks, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Y'all, when I tell her that I sit on here talking to myself. Anyways, what I was saying though is that we're gonna jump into the final look. I decided I'm only doing one more because I am tired. Just not necessarily tired of the palette. I'm just tired. Exhausted, and I have so much things to do that I'm like, okay girl, you gotta move on. You've got to move on. So of course we're gonna dive into these blues. I want to do a halo eye because I haven't done a halo in so long. So I think I'm gonna start off with this shade, which honestly, very, very skeptical. It's called Mount Fuji, and it's a pale blue. Like, this is gonna be white on me. We know this, but we're gonna do it anyway. See, white. If I told you this was blue, would you believe me? I'm off to a very, very slow start, you guys. Partly because I don't feel well. I have a little bit of a sore throat going on. And then also because I ran out of coffee creamer. And this has become the story of my life pretty recently, is running out of coffee creamer. And if you know me, coffee is my thing, okay? It is part of my morning routine. I feel so off if I don't start the day with coffee, and particularly hot coffee. Like, I need a hot cup of coffee. Regardless of how hot it is outside, I want my coffee to be hot in the morning. In the afternoon, yes, we'll do the ice, we'll do cold brew, we'll do all that fun jazz, but in the morning, give me hot coffee. And I had no coffee creamer, so I actually went to the coffee shop that's really near to me. There's a couple close by. This one's the closest, so I went to the closest one, and I just got a nice coffee, which it just doesn't hit the same, you know what I mean? It's not the same. So now I just feel like my day is off, like, because I didn't have my coffee. So this is just me complaining about the fact that my day is off. And I don't know why I keep blending this shade onto my lids. Like, I'm just building the ash. Why? When I know I should just move on. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on. Oh, this is chaos. So we're gonna move into Fujigoko, which I hope to God I'm saying right. Fujigoko, which is just like slightly deeper. I'm taking that same brush, and I am actually going to, in a lot of ways, kind of go over that initial shade. I kind of wanted to blend into that first shade because I want to have this be lighter, but not as like ashy. So blending those two shades together to get slightly lighter than Fujigoko. It's kind of fun to say though. I want it to be slightly lighter than Fujigoko, but not as ashy as Mount Fuji. So luckily, Nomad shades, they do blend really well, and it's doing exactly what I want / needed it to do. So then we're gonna go into this deep blue shade. It's Mount Hoi. I'm probably saying that wrong, so please forgive me. I did not get a chance to look up the pronunciation of these shades before playing in this palette. And that is going to go on the inner and outer part of the eye, you know, framing the eye, because we're doing a halo today. Okay, so we have 3 blue shimmers, and I kind of want to put 2 of these for the halo. So I just want to see what they look like. So this is the deepest one. This is called Yamanakoko. Kako. I'm just gonna stop saying these things because it's embarrassing at this point. So this is the deepest one, this is the lighter one, and this is the iridescent one. So I'm definitely going in with this iridescent one in like the center to give it that pop. And the question is then, do we frame it with either this really deep shade or this, wait, no, that's the light blue, or this deep one. So deep, kind of middle, and then iridescent. And I feel like we have to do these two, right? No? Yep, so we're gonna go in with the middle, and then like the middle depth, and then the light kind of iridescent one. So I'm just taking a little bit of that on my Refa. This is the Refa number 28 brush. And we're gonna just plop that into like the outer corners here, because we're keeping that center part open for that iridescent shade. And then taking that iridescent shade, this is called Diamond Fuji, and we're just gonna tap that right into the center part of the lid. Okay, you see the vision, you see the halo that we're going for. Let me go ahead, clean things up, blend everything together, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look. Okay, this is the final look. I will zoom out, show y'all the final face, but I just need a minute, y'all. Like, when I say I'm tired, I don't feel well. Also, my room is a mess, so like zooming out means I show y'all all of that. So I gotta tidy up a bit before I zoom out and then film the outro. Who knows, the outro of this might be filmed with me wearing a completely different look, because I might be done for today. Like, I think I'm gonna go take a nap, you know? That's where I'm at in life right now. But enough of me kind of ranting. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the full 3 looks. Let's go into my final thoughts. Okay guys, I'm back, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the demos of me using the shadows on the face. Also, apologies, I know my intro was a little bit long-winded, but when I haven't filmed for a while, I get chatty and I want to say things. But let's talk about the palette and my first impressions thoughts. I think this might be one of my favorite Nomad Cosmetics palettes. I really, really enjoyed playing in this. One thing I will say is that Nomad is becoming one of those brands that is really, really consistent in my sort of catalog. One of the complaints that I've had a number of people say about Nomad is that sometimes the shimmers can be a little bit difficult to work with. There was a point in which the shimmers were really hard pressed and just like difficult to pick up or to get onto the lids, and that I think is an issue that they seem to have fixed, because I haven't heard anyone mention it in the last couple of launches, and it hasn't been an issue for me. So if you were worried about the shimmer formula being too hard pressed and difficult to like actually pick up, I didn't experience that with this palette, and quite frankly, I really enjoyed how they perform in terms of like applying it to the legs and their longevity overall. One of my favorite things about Nomad has always been their mattes. I really love their matte formula, and I kind of appreciate that this palette is really stacked very heavily with the mattes. One thing I will say that I do think is missing in this is just a deep brown, and I don't know if it's just me as somebody that wants like a deep brown in every single palette, because I do think that it gives you that one option to keep things really neutral. And considering that this is like based on sort of like landscape and neutrality, that I would have liked to see a really just sort of deep brown in the palette to help ground it. In terms of the deep shades of the palette, you get this deep blue and then this deep red. So at the end of the day, your looks are either going to shift a little bit red or a little bit blue. But I think a deep brown would have given us the option to have something that was a little bit more neutral, because we do have, in my opinion, a kind of cool toned neutral taupe leaning shade here, that you just pair this with another like cool tone brown or even like a neutral leaning brown, and you pop in this shade or this shade and you have like a neutral wearable everyday look. That's the one thing I would say about this, is that if you wanted just a neutral look, Maybe kind of sorta, you just wouldn't get the outer depth. So for example, you could go in with the taupe brown and then just put this on the lid very, very lightly, and you'd have a very nice, lovely, neutral leaning look in my opinion. But if you were someone like me who you just like a little bit of smoke in the outer corner, you might have to dig into another palette for the neutral, for like a brown. But that being said, I do think that this is a complete palette. You can get complete looks with it, and it blends really well. One thing I was really surprised by are the yellows in this palette. My complexion particularly, or me particularly, I struggle with yellow shades sometimes because I have such a yellow golden undertone, and it does feel like a lot of them just kind of blends and disappears into my skin. But I found that these actually popped really well. Now the light one is definitely it's light for me. It is, and I knew that, I expected it, but I do think that because of how well the Nomad mattes are formulated, it's a good blend out shade. So if you want to use it to like blend out either of the other two yellows, it works well. So you don't have to go in with it as like a transition shade and have it be ash. You can go in with it and use it as a blend out shade. Completely fair. So in terms of the performance of this, I think it performed really well. I also really, really loved, you know, this really is the star of the show. This iridescent blue shade, absolute perfection. It's amazing for a nice halo eye. You can put it on top of any of the matte shades. And I love that in terms of the layout, they really did make this, like, you can see the mountain in the back, and then it's like the pinnacle at the top of it. When I tell you Nomad Cosmetics actually pays a lot of attention into the packaging and the format and layout of their palettes, this is what I mean. Like, it was very, very thoughtful. I will say though, aside from the shades in this palette, my favorite thing about this palette is the packaging. This is my favorite Nomad packaging. Just the fact that this is so textured and is basically art layered onto a palette, absolutely stunning. I just think that this is so freaking beautiful. This is such an amazing release for fall, and I'm really glad that they gave us something that does feel a little bit different to their catalog, because like I've said in the intro, one of the things with Nomad palettes that I realized, and I think a number of you guys did as well, is that a lot of their palettes do very heavily feature green, and this one there's not a green in sight. I think that they did something that was different for them, but still very wearable and could work with so many people's preferences and what they're interested in wearing, and is still very appropriate for the fall season. So I definitely recommend this one. Nomad is, again, one of my absolute favorite brands. I don't think I said this in the intro, but I'm saying this now so I remember to put it in there. This was gifted to me in PR. The brand sent this to me, and I have been receiving PR from Nomad for a year or two now, and I also have an affiliate code with the brand. So when you guys shop and you use my code Jamila, I make money off of it. That being said, this is 100% my opinion, and this probably would have been a palette that I would have picked up on my own, because I do think that this is a really nice and different color story for Nomad. If it had a green in it, I would have been like, again, y'all. Okay, I'm just kidding. But I truly do enjoy this. Probably would have picked it up on my own. So I wanted to be very transparent with you guys that I did get this in PR, and I do have an affiliate code with the brand. So if you plan on picking it up, again, use my code Jamila. It will save you 10%. No hard feelings if you don't. Truly. All right, so that is it, I think, for my first impressions video, you guys. If you want to see me create more looks with it, if you have any questions about the palette, you know, put them down in the comments, or also hit me up on Instagram. Those of you who already do, you guys know I'm pretty responsive over there, and I'm always chatting, and I will always like do my best to answer your questions. I'm just a regular, smegular makeup consumer. I have no skills or training in this. I'm just like somebody who enjoys makeup that wants to share my experience and also help you guys that are also makeup lovers save a lot of money and not spend unnecessarily, because this is a very expensive hobby, as we all know. Okay, so thanks for watching today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the palette. And if you genuinely don't know what to comment, as always, go ahead and drop that orange heart. It really does help with the algorithm. I just want to say thanks for all of the support, and for y'all that are still watching even though my videos have been really slow this summer season. I love you. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.